Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a video basically wrapping up my thoughts on Legends Festival. We just ended. It's now, January. Almost, actually, it's approaching the end of January 2023. We have the LF Android 17 first LF of 2023 here. But we still have some exchange shops that I need to go through. There's one day left on all these exchange shops, and I have to obviously exchange everything that I can here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the plate shop. I already showed you guys how many gold plates I had. I'm just going to get rid of all these tickets here. We'll do some summons in the background, but I basically could just buy everything at this point. I guess we'll just... What do I want to do here? What can you even get with the silver silver plates? You just get the gold plates with the silver plates. You can get some Zenny. It's actually not too bad. I don't really need Zenny though, just because I have unlimited amounts of energy. Let's just grab these, whatever. And in terms of like gold plate exchanges, I mean platinum coins, I guess we'll grab these. Energy, of course, I can use these. We'll just do this. But basically, let me just grab these. I think I can I? Yeah, do this. Let me just do this, and I can just grab all the platinum coins. I'll go back and get the rest later. We'll just grab, for now, we'll just grab the tickets. Because, like, look at this. Like, this is, again, I guess we'll just jump into the discussion right away. Like, look how many medals I have. This is basically not all of them, but almost all the medals that I received throughout the course of the celebration. 1,604. Of course, we have the Hoi Poi coins. This is the second iteration of this. We had part 1. Which also basically gave us the same rewards here. So there's a lot of stuff in here as well. We have Legends Tuesday stuff in here, which I'll just go ahead and do this, because I only have 1 medal left anyway. What else we got? We had like a bunch of different raids throughout the celebration. We have this right here, which I also have to do this. So the 54 is the total amount you can get. I'll just grab this, might as well. There's no reason not to. I'll just hold on to that. So we have that. We had a bunch of adventure stuff going on. Like there was a lot of really, really solid rewards throughout this Legends Festival. And I think that's one aspect of it that we can't really fault, right? No matter how much you hate Legends, no matter how much you... I should probably just clear out this shop. So you know what we'll do for now is I'll just buy like 500 tickets. We'll do 500 tickets worth in this video. That should be enough for me to talk about what I want to talk about in here. We can never really fault the Legends devs, I think, for supplying us with a decent amount of resources and good free stuff, right? So that's not something we can really say they're not doing a good job of. When you look at this, I still have these tickets left as well, 300 tickets. Yeah, I'm doing these all in this video. I guess we'll try and do these quick. I still have these 4 Legends Limited guaranteed tickets. So I guess we'll start with the free ones, right? Might as well. Free, what is this, 30 free molds in this banner? I mean, there's not the greatest lineup of characters here, but still, it's better than it's literally just free. You log in and boom, you get these tickets for free. So I guess we'll start with the celebration as a whole. These give normal Z medals, okay. I think when it comes to like rating celebrations in this game, and honestly any game, like this applies to Dokkan as well, I think everybody's going to have their own opinions on how good it was, because everybody rates different aspects to their liking. So for example, are you somebody who likes co-op? Are you somebody who likes PvP? Are you somebody who likes PvE? That's going to depend on how heavily you rate this celebration in terms of it being good or bad. So I could give my rating for the celebration and somebody could completely disagree with it, but that's fine because that's their interpretation of how good the celebration was, tailored to how they like to play the game. Of course, we pull this guy on this banner. But I think when it comes down to obviously my area that I like to focus on for the game, which is PvP, which is what most of my audience is interested in watching in terms of the content that I upload on my channel. The biggest issue, and this doesn't apply to Legends Festival specifically, this is just to the entire game, is just the meta shifts way too slowly. It shifts way too slowly. And I think the one good thing that Legends Festival has done consistently, and this is not just limited to this one, but also last year's Legends Festival, and then I think even Legends Festival 2 years ago, but less so that one, is that whenever we do get these, LFs and Ultras during Legends Festival, the meta does get impacted very heavily, and we do see these big shifts in the meta. Now, when you compare this Legends Festival to last year's Legends Festival, and I think it's just a product of their development mindset, like you obviously seen a big shift in the way that they like to release characters last year compared to this year. when I say this year, I mean 2022 versus 2021, we saw a significant decrease in the amount of sparkings we saw release on banners throughout 2022 as opposed to 2021. So what that ends up, the problem that brings to the game is that when we do get characters, they have to be impactful or it's just going to be a dead release. It's literally a wasted release. So, you know, we get these banners with one LF character and then like an EX character. EX characters, unfortunately, just don't matter. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. They're never going to matter until they either change the rates that they are to pull them, or they just create them as sparkings instead of EX characters, which I don't know if they will. But if that one summonable LF character on a banner isn't impactful, or the one Ultra character on a banner isn't impactful, then the banner is literally a waste because it's the only thing that you're summoning for on that banner. And we did see that basically with the Legends Festival banners, but at least we did get 1% sparking characters alongside the LF characters, right? So for the Goku and Vegeta GT tag character, we got the 17, who was really good and still is really good. For Vegeta and Trunks, it's actually reversed. I would say Zamasu is way better than the Vegeta and Trunks, and he's like sort of the main character you want to look out for on that banner, whereas Vegeta and Trunks is more so just a supporting character. Honestly, I've played a lot of PvP this season. This is like the first post Legends Festival season. I don't think I fought a single Vegeta and Trunks the entire season. What, 50 plus matches, maybe 70 plus matches, not a single one. Just very sad how they were handled. And then of course with Ultra Gogeta's banner, I mean, we had just got Ultra Gogeta on there, which is how all Ultra banners work, which I don't like, but it is what it is. But of course, Ultra Gogeta, I consider him the best character in the game. Of course, he has to be impactful. It's Ultra Blue Gogeta. So the issue that brings, right? Of course, it's good that these banners are impacting the game and shifting the way that people play PvP and what characters you're encountering. I think the major issue with that, though, is because there are a lot less characters coming out. The new characters have to shift the meta by themselves, right? So the tag Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta come out, they pretty much have to, they have to move the meta on their own, right? As opposed to last year, we had, you know, multiple new sparkings. You can even directly compare this to the Beast Gohan banner, right? Beast Gohan and Pan together, and then also Piccolo. Like, when was the last time we actually had a banner that had 3 summonable sparkings on it? Last year, we had, sorry, this is actually not last year, this is 2 years ago. We had the LF Purple UI Goku banner that had 4 summonable sparkings on it. We had LF UI Goku, we had Blue Topo, we had Red Dispo, and we had Green Jiren. So in a case like that, the main headlining character, of course, they should be, you know, they should be good enough to influence the meta on their own, but if they aren't like super powerful, at least you still have 3 other new sparking characters that can help that character change the meta in addition to what that main character is doing, right? So I think that's the main issue that we see with, you know, at least some releases where it's like Vegeta and Trunks. Imagine if Zamasu wasn't on that banner. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Zamasu was not on that banner and it was just Vegeta and Trunks? That literally would have been like the most dead release ever, other than like the other characters that were returning on their banner with them. So it forces each, like them releasing such little characters just forces each character to be like super impactful, or it just ends up being a wasted release. And that's one of the reasons why I despise All-Star banners. But I think when you talk about Legends Festival this year, I think we actually did have some good meta shifts throughout Legends Festival, because going into Legends Festival, you guys remember that the meta was like before we got the tag 4s was literally just, it was just hybrids and movies. It was Beast Gohan, Beast Gohan, Beast Gohan. You queue up, you run into 49 times out of 50, you run into Beast Gohan. But now, after Legends Festival, I would say that we have a lot of good viable teams, right? We have GT, we have Future, we have God Key, we have hybrids, we have movies. They're all viable. They're all viable. Those are all viable teams that I just rattled off. And so when you compare the post-Legends Festival meta to the pre-Legends Festival meta, I actually would say that they did a really good job of getting a lot of other teams involved in the meta environment, where as beforehand, it was really lopsided and not good. So I think the best part about Legends Festival is when we get to see different shifts in the PvP environment. Now, on the other hand, I think the banner format is one of the biggest things that people were upset about. I think this comes in two parts too. Part number one is, I guess, when you look at last year compared to this year. Last year we had 3 times Z power and sparking rates, whereas this year it was just sparking rates were at 3 times, and Z power was at 2 times, right? I think that Z power being at 3 times was just insane. I think that they probably realized they made a mistake with that, and I don't really know if we'll see that ever again, to be honest with you guys. I think that was just a one-time thing. It's just way too good. But we had triple Z power. We had triple sparking rates, and we had double Z power, which is still really good. But the problem with the banner format, more so than the actual like structure of the banners itself, is the release schedule. Like, look at last year when we had Goku and Vegeta and Trunks both released at the same time. That's a real meta shift. We have Goku and Vegeta, we have Goku Black and Zamasu, we have Trunks, and we have the Green Broly, all coming out at the same time. 4 summonable Sparkings, 2 of them are LFs. As opposed to part 1 of this Legends Festival, where it's just the Tag 4s who are insanely good. And then, you know, 17, who's a good supporting character for the GT setup, and now Androids as well. But that meta shift that we saw during the first portion of this Legends Festival doesn't even come remotely close to what we saw last year. And I think that's the most exciting part of the game for a lot of people, is when we get these major shifts in the meta due to all these characters coming out at the same time. And so when they split up these banners like this, where, you know, it's part 1, it's 2 characters, part 2, it's 2 characters, and then part 3, it's 1 character, as opposed to part 1 being 4 characters, and then part 2 just being like 1 or 2 other characters. Like, there's a big, you feel a big difference in the community when, you know, it's 4 characters, everybody's super hype, everyone's pulling for different characters. Oh, you like Trunks? Okay, you're gonna pull for Trunks. Oh, you like Goku Vegeta? You're gonna pull for Goku and Vegeta. Whereas this year, it's like, well, you know, I'm not really a huge fan of GT, and I just don't like, for whatever reason, I just don't like the Tag 4s, so I'm just not even going to summon on them. And then you get like a group of people that just don't care about the banner, and they don't have any other option to summon on, right? Because there's no other banner that's out currently. So I think when they split up the banners like this, it just creates less hype around the game, and it gives people less of an option, right? So if somebody was really looking forward to Legends Festival, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is going to be insane. We're going to have multiple banners. We're going to have all these Z powers and sparking rate up or whatever. Right, that person might not be that excited for GT stuff. It just might be not what they're into, right? And so if that's your only option going into Legends Festival, it's kind of just, you know, it's kind of a buzzkill for a lot of people. At least with the other format, you had multiple banners to choose to summon on. So I think, at least just as a content creator, I'm always keeping my eye on the environment of the community. And I did not feel the same level of hype at all this year with Legends Festival as we did the last year. And I think a lot of it was just because they made a huge change to the banner structure and stuff like that last year. I mean, I kind of didn't expect it to be as big of a jump this year in terms of like how hype it was going into the prior Legends Festival as opposed to this one. But it really felt like a notch turned down as opposed to the prior year. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree with me. It's not like really anything too game breaking, I would say, but you definitely, you know, I felt it for sure. The Tag 4's insanely powerful character. You could have argued that they were number 1 in the game when they released, but we all felt it. We all felt that there was just something missing when they did that reveal for the Tag 4. So everyone was like, okay, you know, the outro happened. Where's the secret reveal for whatever's coming out, whatever's coming next? And there was just nothing there. It was just them. That was it. Just the Tag 4s. I don't know. And the thing with this is too, is if we see this continuing into the future with the anniversary and then Legends Festival this year in 2023, then I think the same sentiment will continue, right? Because people are always going to be comparing the current celebrations to past celebrations. I think in a game like this, or in any, you know, service game that's continuing to operate and updates their games constantly, people should be expecting the games to be getting better and more hype and expanding on their mechanics and creating new characters, new effects. People are always looking for a bigger and better thing moving forward into the future, because as the game evolves and continues to grow, like we shouldn't be moving backwards in terms of animations, mechanics, like ways to play the game. Like everything should be growing and evolving up. Nothing should be growing and evolving down, right? I think that's a very, you know, I think that's a very widely accepted principle for games like this, where it's like you don't expect these things to get worse over time. And so when people are looking at last year's Legends Festival and comparing it to this year's Legends Festival, I think a lot of people are using the prior one as a measuring stick and then are just, you know, instantly concluding that, oh, this one's not as good as last year's, therefore it is a bad celebration. I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's fair to look at the prior year celebration. That's the identical celebration as this one. So they're both Legends Festival. Why should the one in the prior year be better than this one? And then I think when it comes to, I don't want to say this. When it comes to, hold on, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. When it comes to like expectations in this game, I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, right? So like, for example, I mean, I don't know, right? So like if we take a look at a lot of the animations that happened in Legends Festival, like I don't actually like the Tag 4's animations that much. And I saw a lot of people saying they didn't as well. And the same thing as well with Vegeta and Trunks. So it seems like they put a lot of emphasis on Ultra Gogeta Blue, more so than the LFs. I remember when they showed off the Tag Blues last year in Legends Festival, and people were going in. People were actually losing their minds over the Tag Blues. It was like the best thing to ever happen to this game when the Tag Blues came out. And I think it was just because it was a new mechanic, right? And people, you know, because Legends Festival from that point forward was kind of always just marked as like the celebration that would always give us new mechanics. So that was also an expectation that was established, because 2 years ago we had the introduction of the first unique gauge unit with Purple UI Goku. Last year we had the introduction of the first tag character with Goku and Vegeta. And this year we didn't have anything. It was just tag character, Ultra. That was it. So I don't know. I don't really know if we're going to be seeing many like new mechanics moving forward. I feel like they could have at least mixed the two mechanics together. Like what if we had a tag character with a unique gauge? I felt like that was reasonable to expect something like that, but we did not get that. So I guess a lot of people's like ratings of the celebration ultimately just come down to like what are you expecting going into it, and what is a fair metric to use to evaluate how good the celebration was. And I think from an objective standpoint, we can look at how much did the celebration affect the metagame for people who like PvP. How good were the rewards, the reward structure? I think they probably value that more than anything else, is looking at the reward structure and seeing how people react to all the resources and free stuff they're giving out, because that's honestly one of the biggest things, I think, from their standpoint at least. You can see how much they emphasize that in like all the social media stuff, and when you log in, it's like, oh, you can get this many crystals and you can get this special thing if you click on this right here. Like there's a million different pop-ups, and they even specifically created like different UI elements just for Legends Festival, like the worldwide missions and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, click here and then work together with people to, you know, get all these rewards. I think if it was up to me, in terms of like rating the celebration, I mean, it's pretty close to the anniversary, right? I mean, it was the same exact format. And again, going back to the whole format thing, I think we're going to see the same format moving forward, where it's 3 parts. Part 1 is LF, part 2 is LF, and then part 3 is Ultra. I think there is a chance, and I'm going to make this a separate video. I think there is a chance that this year we could maybe see something a bit different, depending on if they're ready to release LF Ultra characters. And I don't know how that would affect the remaining releases. So like if they did LF Ultra as part 1, like the main headlining character is an LF Ultra character, part 2 maybe would just be a normal LF character, and then part 3 could just be like a normal Ultra character. Like I don't know what the format would look like if they were going to be doing LF Ultras. Is an LF Ultra just going to replace the part 3 Ultra character? It'd just be another Ultra character, but instead of just a normal Ultra, it would be like an LF character with an Ultra, or sorry, an Ultra character with an LF. It's possible, I don't know, but we could potentially see a slight format shift this year, depending on if they are ready to do that, because at some point it's definitely going to happen, right? Okay, thanks. Ultra characters will be getting LFs at some point. It's just it's only a matter of time, because an LF character is not a rarity. Ultra is a rarity. Sparking's a rarity. We have Sparking LFs. Ultra LFs are only an inevitability at this point. But yeah, I think if this year ends up being just a repeat of last year, I could definitely see a lot of people remaining pretty disappointed in just the format overall. And I really can't blame people for being upset about it, because it does feel a little bit sluggish, even though we have these really big, impactful characters coming out, like the Tag 4s and Zamasu, and then obviously Ultra Gogeta Blue is like the anchor to the celebration. But it was much more fun and exciting to me, and obviously to a lot of other people as well, because we saw that the prior 2 years of the game existing. It was a lot more fun when we had a lot of new characters coming out at the same time who all could compete, and you queue up into PvP, and guess what? You actually saw all these new characters on all these different teams, and you had all these different, you know, viable teams to run, and there was different options available. And I feel like with the leader slot right now, they could have made that so much more fun and interesting. Like, imagine if we had just like during the first 2 years of the game existing, imagine if we actually had the leader slot option. Because back in the early days of this game, we had a lot of periods where there were a lot of viable teams, definitely more so than we've seen recently. But, you know, to sort of give the benefit of the doubt to Legends Festival, I think, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they did do a good job of sort of just giving all these teams what they needed, and expanding the meta for, in terms of the, you know, a lot of these lesser good teams to see play. Well, I say lesser good, but it's like every team was good, was bad, sorry. Every team was bad besides hybrids and movies when Beast Gohan existed. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all to say. In terms of the celebration overall, I think it was fine. I don't really see anything wrong with what they did here, other than the banner shift. That was probably the worst part about it, so. Let me know down below what you guys think of Legends Festival overall. I think it would probably be a safe assumption to go into 2023 and expect both big celebrations, aka the anniversary, and Legends Festival this year to be the same format. We will see. If anniversary ends up being different, then probably I would also expect Legends Festival to be different. Legends Festival typically just copies the anniversary, right? Unless they do decide to, I guess, save the big stuff for Legends Festival, which they might, because we saw that with last year's celebrations, right? The 3rd year anniversary versus Legends Festival. I would say Legends Festival was just way better than the anniversary. This year, I think it's close. I think if you want to say anniversary was better, that's fine. If you want to say Legends Festival was better, I think both are, you know, almost exactly the same celebration. Multiple raids, right, across both celebrations. We had pretty much the same banner format. We had, I would say, similar hype characters. I think the anniversary probably had a little bit hyper characters, to be honest. That Trunks and Vegeta just was like one of the biggest flops of all time in this game, to be honest. But I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on this. I don't know if we're gonna wrap up these summons in time because I'm running out of stuff to talk about here, but I think to be fair and objective towards the celebration, I would probably, if I had to give it a ranking from 1 to 10, I think I'd probably end up giving it like a 7. It wasn't like insane exceptional. Like the Legends Festival last year, I would have given that like a 9.5 or even maybe just straight up a 10. Like that was easily the best celebration in Legends history for sure. And I would say that this one didn't really even come close to eclipsing last year's Legends Festival, but I think it was still a fairly good celebration. Gave us a lot of good good units to work with, gave us a lot of good, you know, resources. There was some good equipment here. Not really a big fan of the way that they changed like co-op for some of that stuff, but it is what it is. Let me know down below what you guys think of the celebration. What are your guys' hopes to see for the big celebrations in 2023? And I will see you guys all in the next one.